Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Monday, the 11th day of May. This is CTV News. Tonight, voters in New Brunswick choose their next crop of local politicians. In a city known for its patio culture, why do Halifax places pay so much? And 2 out of 3 ain't bad. The Halifax Thunderbirds headed to the finals.
Live from our Maritime's News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. The books have closed on another round of municipal elections in New Brunswick. Voters were being asked to choose who will run 77 municipal councils throughout the province. And heading into the vote, there were a couple of key races wide open and closely watched, including Moncton and Dieppe. CTV's Derek Haggett will have those details coming up just a little bit later in the broadcast with our coverage. A man has been charged after firefighters in North Sydney discovered a rash of arson fires over the weekend, 3 of them on the same street. Crews were called to Pepit Street shortly after 3 a.m. Saturday, where they faced fires at 3 different properties. In 2 cases, a vehicle was on fire. 1 spread to a backyard garage. The fire chief says his department also ended up dealing with a number of other unrelated fires on what turned out to be a very busy night.
Having 9 fires in that time is unusual. We've had multiple fires, 2 and 3 at a time, maybe 4. But having 9 pretty much at the same time in the span of a couple of hours, that's a little bit unusual, especially that hour of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning.
32-year-old Derek Daniel Hall appeared in court today on a number of charges, including 3 counts of arson, endangering life, and 4 counts of arson with damage to property. Fortunately, nobody was injured in all of this. Well, as they ease into patio season, cool, rainy weather hasn't been doing bar and restaurant owners in Halifax any favors. If that wasn't bad enough, a business support group says Halifax businesses pay some of the highest permit fees in the Maritimes. CTV's Jesse Thomas has more.
It's not quite patio weather in Halifax today. The light drizzle will keep these sidewalk tables empty, but on a nice day, they'll be packed. However, setting them up isn't cheap.
Restaurants and bars have been through a pretty rough time economically lately. Of course, with inflation and the cost of everything going up, we're hearing in the mayor's office every day from restaurants that are having a difficult time with prices.
Mayor Fillmore is asking council to support a review of the permitting fees. It costs on average $1,000, which Fillmore says is expensive compared to other jurisdictions.
And when you're trying to make your mind up about whether or not to put that patio out for the summer, whether or not to hire an extra 3 or 4 people to run that patio, that kind of fee becomes important.
This carpenter is building a street-side patio outside this downtown Turkish and Mediterranean restaurant. Materials alone will cost the owner thousands of dollars up front, even before the permit fee is factored in.
This patio, 46 by 23, around 6,000, something like that, yeah.
$6,000?
Yeah, $6,000.
The owner of this Irish pub says while $1,000 isn't insignificant, he says there's a cost to doing business, and he doesn't want to see municipal services cut back either.
I always say I'd be happy to pay my fee and continue to have reliable transit and fixed potholes and good bike infrastructure rather than, saving a couple $100 a year.
Halifax brings in nearly $65,000 annually from its sidewalk patio permitting program. The city issued nearly 70 licenses last year and have so far issued 11 permits this year. Council will debate the motion Tuesday. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
Now back to municipal election results in New Brunswick tonight. 77 municipal councils through the province, including some very, very interesting close races. CTV's Derek Haggett has more now from Moncton and Dieppe.
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor. Good stuff.
That.
Be there for you in any way.
It was expected to be close, and it certainly was. Sean Crosman is Moncton's mayor-elect after defeating Brian Murphy by just a few hundred votes.
I'm extremely honored by the citizens of Moncton that have given me the opportunity to lead the city for the next 4 years with our council, and we do have a lot of projects to get covered.
Murphy was mayor of Moncton from 1998 to 2004 and said he wanted the position again because he didn't like what he'd seen on the past council.
And so I feel that we ran a good campaign and we came very close, and therefore, we resonated. And that's good. I feel good about it either way. So I'm confident the city's in good hands with Shaw.
City Councillor Charles Legere had a strong showing and finished third, while Jeffrey McCluskey was a distant fourth. Frontrunners Crosman and Murphy a bit taken back by how close of a call it was.
Surprised in the three-way split. We did not see that. The polling did not address that.
Very surprised, quite honestly, but very happy.
Murphy conceded defeat before 10 p.m. A classy move, said the mayor-elect.
Yeah, I thought that was very gentlemanly of him, very kind of him to do that, and that is what we call respect.
Crossman and his council will begin their terms on June 1st. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
Of course, there were other mayoral races in the province that were being watched very closely this evening, including the city of Fredericton, a very high-profile race there where former MP Jenica Atwin was up against longtime city councillor Steve Hicks and former construction worker John Reid for the city's top job. In the end, Frederictonians chose Hicks for the mayor's chair by nearly 1,800 votes. Reid couldn't break through 400. And in St. John, incumbent Mayor Donna Reardon gets to keep her job, which she's had since 2021. Councillor Barry Ogden was only about 1,200 votes behind, and veteran barbershop owner Blaine Harrison had the support of almost 4,700 St. Johners. Very respectable showing in a race with some very well-known candidates there. Nova Scotia politics, Lunenburg West MLA Becky Drouin has joined the Liberals. That gives the party 3 seats in Province House. Drouin has been sitting as an independent since leaving the governing PC caucus in the fall. She had been a cabinet minister but left over the government's leadership. She will be a health critic, seniors and long-term care, and some other critic duties as well. She's also indicated she'd like to run for the leadership of the party in the future.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
After a certain amount of dread, the first few days of a new digital health record system are now in the books in the Halifax area. One person, one record rolled out early Saturday morning. So far, Nova Scotia Health says despite the major fundamental change here, things are going fairly well.
Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's a big change. In terms of making change, it's hard. However, team members mentioning immediately to us that they are seeing the value and seeing how much easier it is to care for patients when information is so much more easily shared amongst team members.
I think it's fair to say that staff committed lots of time to the training over the last months, and it's variable, but there certainly was a universal resolve to do as much preparation as people possibly could.
The system ought to be in place province-wide by the end of next year. Fears of a shutdown of the Halifax grain elevator seem to have subsided, at least for now. Barley was being unloaded at the Halifax elevator today, which was without a lease at the end of last season. However, a new 2-year deal was signed with the Port of Halifax last week.
This is a new customer we have that has a program where they're shipping barley from Prince Edward Island out into containers to Southeast Asia.
If they had closed it, it wouldn't have, I don't think we could have afforded to grow soybeans without shipping to Halifax. It'd be a lot of money to truck to Montreal versus going to Halifax elevator.
Grain elevator has been a fixture on the Halifax waterfront for 102 years. These days, barley, wood pellets, and soybeans are the main exports. The day before municipal election is usually pretty quiet, but not in Fredericton, where council voted to take the New Brunswick exhibition grounds back into the city's control. But as CTV's Avery McRae tells us tonight, this could be all for nothing.
It was an unusual way to spend Mother's Day, and only 6 of the 11 Fredericton councillors made it to a special meeting. But there was enough for the city to expropriate the New Brunswick exhibition grounds.
The only way to actually realize the vision of the development plan was to secure the land.
They voted to take the land back from the New Brunswick Exhibition Group and buy out the remaining lease for $4.1 million for future development. The city will also sell around a third of the 30-acre property to the province to build a replacement for the aging George Street Middle School.
On the eve of an election, this is pretty disheartening.
The meeting came a day before Frederictonians head to the poll to vote for the next council. The timing of it all raises eyebrows for the ground's executive director.
Our leadership at the city level clearly had a motive and an expectation and wanted to get it across the finish line.
Outgoing Mayor Kate Rogers defended their actions. She says council had been waiting on this expropriation report since April, and when it came in late Friday, it was only fair to give this council a chance to finish their work.
Imagine had we received that report and staff and myself held that report and didn't share that information, didn't disclose to council that we had received the report. That would have been wrong.
What makes the timing of the 11th hour council meeting even more eye-opening is the fact everything that was voted in favor for yesterday could all be undone in a matter of weeks.
The new council will have the full right and authority and power to give the MV exhibition their lands, or to continue on with this process, or anything in the middle of that.
Making for an uncertain future for the exhibition grounds. Avery McRae, CTV News, Fredericton.
Okay, thank you, Avery. Still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast. And we'll explore why some people are working past the age of 65. Coming up next, though, preparing for a fight far from home.
It was just a no-brainer to me. She wasn't going alone.
A Maritime woman needs a double lung transplant, and her community has her back. That story is next. Stay with us. Halifax woman who survived leukemia is now facing another life-threatening battle, one that could take her away from home for up to a year. As she prepares for a double lung transplant, her community is making sure she doesn't face it alone. CTV's Hafsa Arif has her story tonight.
For Erin Pushy, even the simplest moments now come with effort. 20 years after surviving leukemia, the treatment that saved her life is now threatening it.
So I had a bone marrow transplant 20 years ago, and as a result of that, I got what's known as graft versus host disease, and my lungs took the worst of it.
The damage has slowly worsened over 2 decades. Now Erin needs a double lung transplant, which can only happen in Toronto.
It sounds and felt insurmountable. I have a whole world here. My children are here, and work and bills and everything else that are not going to stop.
That's where Kelly Blennis stepped in, not just as a friend, but as Erin's support person through every hospital visit, recovery day, and uncertain moment ahead.
It was just a no-brainer to me. She wasn't going alone. She's one of my best friends. She is like the kindest human that I know.
While there are transplant assistance programs available, they don't come close to covering the full cost of relocating, housing, lost income, and recovery. So Kelly created an online fundraiser to help.
Asking for a lot of money is really hard, but in the first day we raised $5,000, and it was so humbling.
But the support pouring in isn't surprising to Kelly. She says Erin has spent years showing up for others, despite quietly battling her own health struggles.
It's a great reminder that we do have communities and that people do care.
Erin and Kelly are planning to go to Toronto sometime after July. While there's still a long road ahead, the community support is helping replace Erin's fear with hope. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Timberley.
Thank you, Hafsa. Time for a quick little break, but when we return, your complete Maritime weather forecast. The rain still coming down, at least in the Halifax area, on this Monday night. Kaylin Mitchell will tell us how much more to expect when we come back. Monday night, 11th day of May, and kind of a 50-50 sort of weekend, and we lean back into the rain again today.
Yeah, it was kind of a 50-50 weather day in the Maritimes. There's a little bit more sunshine in the province of New Brunswick, and then, of course, cloudier, soggier conditions for Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, with those two provinces getting into some more rain as we're making our way through tonight. This was all brought in by a weather front that made its way in slowly into the Maritimes out of the west, and then sort of stalled out around Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, and more rain moving up and off the Atlantic along that front. That's why those two provinces are seeing some more wet weather for tonight, whereas in New Brunswick, it'll actually be a clearing sky during the overnight hours. As we take a look at our timeline then for cloud cover and precipitation, that rain is represented here in through the green, so continue to make its way across Nova Scotia into the start of the day for tomorrow. Same thing goes for Prince Edward Island, so plan on there being some rain and some showers around for both PEI and much of Nova Scotia, except for maybe the southwest, first thing Tuesday morning. Now, moving from the morning into the afternoon, that rain does begin to clear off towards the northeast. Cape Breton will be last out of it. They could linger with some rain and showers, even to around the mid-afternoon hours before it heads up and over the Cabot Strait. And behind it, a mix of sun and cloud, but with some parts of the Maritimes with a chance of a couple of showers drifting through afternoon into early evening. That does include the southeastern corner of New Brunswick, as well as parts of the west of Nova Scotia, including in around the Minas Basin, as well as parts of the Annapolis Valley. Taking a look at additional rainfall amounts then as we make our way through tonight and into tomorrow, parts of Nova Scotia could pick up another 10 to 20 millimeters of rain, most likely in eastern parts of that province, and same thing goes for eastern parts of Prince Edward Island. Taking a look at winds in the forecast for tomorrow, they're mostly going to be out of the north in the afternoon. They'll be blustery in Nova Scotia with some gusts between 30 and 50 kilometers per hour, except peaking near 60 up around Sydney. And gusts for both New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island will be in the range of 20 to 40 kilometers per hour on Tuesday. Low temperatures in the forecast for tonight for a good portion of the Maritimes be around the low to mid single digits. Now, because there's going to be some clearing in the north of New Brunswick, temperatures there will be getting a little bit chillier. And right up in the north of that province, there could be some lows that fall into a range around -2 to 0. Maybe a risk of a little bit of patchy frost on the ground. If any gardeners have gotten an early start to the season, just keep that in mind. And then highs in the forecast for tomorrow in the north of New Brunswick up between around 10 and 14 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. It'll be a mix of sun and cloud for central and southern parts of that province. Remember, a chance of a shower around Moncton in the southeast, and high temperatures for tomorrow between 12 and 14 degrees. Prince Edward Island for tomorrow does start off the day first thing in the morning with some rain and showers around, but by the afternoon it'll be a mix of sun and cloud with high temperatures between 7 and 11. In eastern areas of Nova Scotia, it's a rainy start to the day with some clearing expected, gradual clearing in the afternoon, and high temperatures mostly between 6 and 10 degrees. It's a little bit milder for northern and central parts of the province for tomorrow, with high temperatures getting up into the low teens. Showers clear away. There'll be some sunny breaks in the afternoon. And in the southwest of Nova Scotia, most of the high temperatures 11 to 15 degrees. We've got isolated showers there. That's that chance of a late day shower around the valley and up around the Minas Basin area. As we take a look at the extended forecast, beginning first with New Brunswick, it's expected to be sunny on Wednesday with high temperatures around the mid to high teens. There's a returning chance of showers on Thursday, with showers in the forecast for Friday this week, and a chance of showers at the start of the weekend. Although right now, fingers crossed for Sunday and Monday, and that's part of the May long weekend there. Those 2 days looking very nice right now, mix of sun and cloud and warmer. For Nova Scotia in the forecast, mostly sunny on Wednesday with a mix of sun and cloud on Thursday. Showers return to the forecast for Friday with a chance of showers on Saturday. That's followed by a mix of sun and cloud and warmer temperatures for both Sunday and Monday. And for Prince Edward Island in the outlook, coming up on Wednesday, it's mostly sunny. There'll be a chance of showers on Thursday. Showers in the forecast for Friday. Chance of showers on Saturday. And then a mix of sun and cloud warmer Sunday and Monday. Bruce.
Thank you, sir. We'll reconvene for the wake-up weather at the end of the broadcast. In the meantime, stay with us. Be right back. So, have you been dreaming about retirement, or maybe dreading retirement? More Canadians than ever, it seems, are staying in the job after the age of 65, and the reasons are quite varied. CTV's Vanessa Wright looked into the trend.
I retired at, into my 70s, yes. And I worked part-time, and it was a great job. And I I highly recommend it.
According to Stats Canada, the labor force participation rate for Canadians aged 65 and older
Downtown
hit
Halifax.
15.2% in 2025. That's nearly 1.2 million seniors in the labor force.
It's not a surprise at all. We've known that those numbers have been growing for years, and even more so these days. 65 is just an imaginary number.
But what's driving it? According to the data, higher living costs, longer life expectancies, and people who simply enjoy what they do. 78, soon-to-be 79-year-old Bill Stevenson is a perfect example. He's still going strong as a piano teacher.
I keep working as much as I need to buy groceries, and because I like doing it.
But for those on fixed incomes,
they can't make ends meet. They need more money to meet the cost of living, and one way of doing it is going back to work.
One thing's for sure, those who love what they do can't be rushed into calling it quits before they're ready.
I mean, you never know if they carry me out.
They're going to have to carry you out.
Yeah, imagine.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News.
Thank you, Vanessa. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, feeling the thunder in Halifax after a big win. First, though, it's your wake-up weather. Frankly, not a whole lot of action in downtown Halifax on this rainy Monday night. 11 degrees right now. Kaylin Mitchell tell you how to dress for the morning when we come back. It is Tuesday morning, and we'll kick it off with a look at the wake-up weather from Kaylin Mitchell.
Probably a little windshield wiper action Tuesday morning still for the province of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island. There will be some rain, some showers around to start the day. Remember that wet weather, though, is going to be clearing off towards the northeast as we move through the morning and the afternoon hours. In behind it, a mix of sun and cloud. Low chance of showers around Moncton, the southeast of New Brunswick, as well as western parts of Prince Edward Island late in the day. A lot of high temperatures tomorrow, high single digits into the low teens. Bruce.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll see you again tomorrow. Well, Sunday was an historic night in Halifax when the Thunderbirds advanced to the National Lacrosse League final for the first time since the franchise moved here back in 2019. And as CTV's Brianne Foley shows us tonight, the T-Birds' success is good for fans and for local businesses.
There's Tara Franco. Should they score?
It took all 3 games in the semifinals, including a disappointing 21-10 loss Saturday night, but the Halifax Thunderbirds punched their ticket to the NLL playoffs to take on the Toronto Rock.
We've been a strong team for a long time, making the playoffs, home playoff game, semifinals, now semifinal win, and we're in the finals, and we're hoping to kind of go all the way this year.
Coming into playoffs as the 8th and lowest seed, no one but the city around them and the team itself gave them much of a chance.
Years, they've had a really good team all along, so they're finally getting the final they deserve. It's super exciting.
We're excited for the players, but we're also really excited for the fans and just what this means for our community.
As far as businesses are concerned, it's Go Birds Go.
It was great. For us, it's really busy nights that day. We try to support the fans also, doing a special future for them. So every night they play, we have a special future for them.
They drive us to compete, to push through. Tired, beat up, whatever it is, they just continue to stand behind us and keep us going. And the standing ovation there at the end of the third quarter, heading into the fourth quarter, was just an electric kind of goosebumps moment, chills down your back of how much they believe in us, how bad they want it.
The best of 3 series faces off Friday in Hamilton before coming to Halifax Sunday. And already the hottest lacrosse ticket in Nova Scotia is 60% sold out, according to Events East. Brianne Foley, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Brianne. That is your late news for tonight. If you tuned in a little bit late, you'd like to closer look at anything you've seen this evening, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It's always your home for news. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening, and we sure hope to see you again tomorrow. That's going to do it.